What's up, guys? Yojo Java here. Today we are talking 2025 Haslab.
Hell yeah!
And we're going to talk about what could it be. Maybe something on this table will be it. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to break it all down. It's going to be an awesome episode. Let's do it. Hey guys, welcome back to another great edition of Yojo Java. Today we are talking 2025 Haslab. So as we know, let's go over the previous Haslabs. We know that they first came out with the Sky Striker, then they came out with the awesome Hiss, then they came out with, everyone's been raving about it, it's been all over social media, the awesome Dragonfly, which I have, which is just awesome. And of course, just recently, they came out with the Rattler, which we all put in our orders. I got two, because it looks freaking awesome. And so, what is the next Haslab going to be? So first of all, let's take a step back. Let's go back through them, talk about them a little bit. Okay, first of all, real quick, I think that everyone loves the Hiss, everyone loves the Dragonfly. Both of those came out. I think those are huge hits, because it's interesting, because when you have the three Hasbro guys talk, okay, when you have Lenny, Emily, and Tony talk, they've been on record as saying the Sky Striker, which we know was about, 3 years ago now, they are on record as saying that wouldn't really classify as a Haslab day, because it's pretty much the same size as the original Sky Striker. And that's not the whole point of a Haslab. Like the Haslab, we all know, the Dragonfly is huge compared to the original Dragonfly. It is enormous. All right, one thing I want to do before I move forward at all is I want us to get an idea of exactly the Haslab and what we need to think moving forward about which one it could be. That's why I got my different levels here. But of course, this is the original Dragonfly, right? And when you look at this, so iconic, right? Just awesome. So here, of course, you can see it does have the gun at the side, which I think is awesome. Everything about it, and of course, they just made it awesome into this awesome Dragonfly. But if we compare size, right, and I'm going to try to do this for you guys, so you guys can see, look how much bigger the Dragonfly is. So this is what they now consider and classify a Haslab. It has to be 2 to 3 times bigger than the original vintage version. So we got to take this into account. So yes, the Haslab is going to be much bigger than the original. That's the whole point. The new Dragonfly, it's awesome. You can watch my video on it. I do a thorough video on it. And it is so awesome. With the LED lights and with the cord coming down and the missiles and just everything about it. The action figures on it, everything is bigger, it's better, it's awesome. So knowing that they consider the Sky Striker to not be a Haslab, you gotta know that when we're looking at all these vehicles and more, what we gotta take into account is yes, it's gonna be much bigger than the original, and of course, there's a price issue. All right, so one other thing that we gotta take into account is that yes, if you look at the table here, it's all Joes. It's all Joes. We know that when Sky Striker, then it went Hiss, then it went Dragonfly, then it went Rattler. So if they continue to follow the same pattern, we all know that most likely than not, the next one's going to be Joe's. So I'm just going to focus on Joe's. I will do another video on Cobra because I love Cobra. Why not thinking ahead? So we'll do another video on Cobra and the Haslab for Cobra later. But I think we can be rest assured 2025 is going to be a G.I. Joe vehicle, not a Cobra vehicle. So I think that's a big thing to take into account. So I want to do a little knockout routine. I want to talk about ones. First I want to talk about ones that probably won't happen at all. Okay, so we can just knock those out right away. Now I want to talk about ones that I think are too big, but man, would I love to see them. Oh God, would I love to see them as Haslab. But I just think the price tag on those would be way too high. And then I'm going to give you what I consider my top 5 that I think is possible. And it could be in those 5, and this is where you come into play. Put in the comments, Put in the comments below. I want to hear what you think the Haslab's going to be. Give me 1, give me 2, give me 3, give me however many you think, ideas that you have about which one it is. Hey, maybe it's one I'm not going to cover today, right? I want to hear that. So please put in the comments below. Let me hear what your thoughts are. We're going to go ahead and move on with the ones that we can just knock out right away. Let's do it. All right, first, let's talk about the ones that we can probably knock out right away. So, yes, they want the Haslab to be big and awesome. I mean, the Rattler is just so cool. It's just so great. So, a couple things here, right? Well, first of all, with the Skyhawk, I think we can knock that one out right away. I think that could be a regular vehicle that maybe comes out down the road. I mean, we all love it. We all think it's amazing. It's so iconic. It goes all the way back to the very beginning of G.I. Joe and the cartoons and the comics and everything. So this one's very iconic, but I just see it coming out regular. I think maybe a lot of you agree with me. So let me hear your thoughts about that if you have different thoughts on that. So we can knock this one out right away. The other one that I just don't see them going to the level of a Haslab is a Desert Fox. I love the Desert Fox. I think it is awesome. I think it is a great vehicle. I really, really do. I'm a big fan of it, which is why I got it. But I just don't see that happening. I don't see them making this as big to make it into a Haslab. So I think that we can knock those out right away. All right, so yeah, I think there's a couple other smaller ones like these that are out there. We're not going to go ahead and spend time on those because I think you and I both know that they're too small and probably just going to be left to come out just like regular, just like the Vamp. So they're probably just going to come out that way. So we're going to go ahead and move on. Right now, what I want to hit on is I want to hit on the Haslab that I would love to see, but I think they are just a little bit too big to make that next step. All right, so let's go and talk about those. Here we go. All right, so let's talk about a couple vehicles that I would absolutely love to see as Haslabs, but I just don't see them going there, specifically because of the price range. I think it will be way too big, way too expensive. I think we're going to go $400 plus on these Haslabs. I don't think they're ready for that. I think they're ready for maybe like $329 at the most. I think even $350 is pushing it because I think they're going to turn away a lot of customers. But just so you know, like G.I. Joe is the best-selling Haslab almost year in and year out, right? So you never know. But these are ones that I don't think have a chance because of how big. So first off, let's go ahead and start with the Tomahawk. I think the Tomahawk is freaking awesome. I think it's amazing. So I think there's a couple reasons why they will not go with the Tomahawk, even though I think it's great with the ripcord down here, with how awesome it looks. It's just such an awesome military vehicle. I don't think they're going to go there, one, because I think it's already big, too big. Like they'd have to make this one. I mean, think about how enormous it would be if they make this. Secondly, I just feel like they've already done enough air vehicles, right? They've done the Sky Striker, they've done the Dragonfly, they've done now the Rattler too. I know that one's Cobra, but they've done the Rattler too. I just feel like, I think they're pushing too much in the air. I just feel like they're going to do one that's either land or water. That's one, so I don't see this one happening. Another one that I probably don't see is happening because I think it may be a little bit too big is the Avalanche. I know that this came out a little bit later. This came out like in 1990. I think it's awesome. That was after my time. I just think it's so cool. I mean, it's cool, right? I think it's cool. Now, if this one does make the Haslab, that would be so cool. I am a big, big fan of the Avalanche. I think it's awesome. When I saw this puppy, I had to get it. It just looks awesome. But I do think, I mean, again, you got to envision it being, what, 2 to 3 times the size? I mean, that's what a Dragonfly is. I mean, it's 2 to 3 times the size of the original. And if we did that, that would be just enormous. So I just don't see this one making the price point. The other one, and I left this one for last, no, 2 of them. I have 2 more actually, and I left these 2 for last because they are 2 of my favorite, easily top 5 G.I. Joe vehicles ever. And I'm absolutely sold on them not happening. First is the Whale. I mean, come on, guys. The Whale is just freaking awesome. Who doesn't love the Whale? There isn't a single G.I. Joe fan out there that doesn't love the Whale. And the Whale is awesome. I mean, everything about it is just so cool. It's so iconic. Like when you press these and these turn. I mean, everything is great. Everything is awesome. You cannot love the whale enough. It would be, but again, oh my God. I mean, think about the size of this thing. It would be enormous. Oh my God, it would be, I mean, easily $400. Like not even blinking an eye, $400. More like $450 or $500. So I just don't see them doing the whale, but man, would I love it. I mean, I would pay. I don't know about you, but I would pay for the whale. The whale's one of my probably top 3 at this point. Top 3 vehicles ever in the G.I. Joe history. So I just freaking love the thing. I love this one. It's complete. It's all done up. I got mine for $200. I mean, just $200 for the vintage one. You always gotta know that the Haslab's gonna be much more than that, right? So yeah, I just don't see him doing the whale, but I think it is just an awesome, awesome vehicle. One last vehicle, and I gotta go get it because it's that big. Hold on. And there is our last vehicle. Oh, the Rolling Thunder! Woo! Do I even have to say any more words? Do I? It is so freaking awesome, dude. I mean, the Rolling Thunder is just, it's amazing. It's amazing. You got this guy in here. I mean, it's just, I mean, this one is complete. Yeah, I'll pop that open for you guys. Just everything about it. I mean, it's just such an awesome vehicle. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, when I got this one complete, I was like jumping up and down. I mean, this one's top 5 easily ever G.I. Joe vehicles ever. It's freaking amazing. But again, we're talking Haslab. So to think about the size, I mean, this is already Haslab size, right? It's already. So for them to make this one bigger, oh my God, we're talking what, $500? $500? There's no way. But man, I would love to see an awesome done-up version of this with LED lights, etc., etc. I think that, I mean, it just got so many features, so many missiles, so many different things. I mean, it would just be so awesome to see as Haslab. Again, this little section here is just like what we would wish for, what we would love to see. That's sort of that. But of course, we know that this isn't going to happen, right? This one's not going to happen. The whale is probably not going to happen. The tomahawk's probably not going to happen. And there's more out there. There's more out there. I know that the Conquest, that's another one. People like that one. I don't think that was going to happen either, just because, again, I do not think they want to continue to go in the air, right? Like, it's just, I think they need a ground one. So I don't see how, maybe the Conquest down the road, maybe definitely down the road, but not right now. I think that this one, I think we're sold on a few others. So now, we're going to talk about the top 5, what I consider the top 5 possible Haslabs for 2005 G.I. Joe. Here we go. All right, guys, here we go. Let's talk top 5 G.I. Joe possible Haslab vehicles. We're going to start with number 5, and this is the one I consider number 5. Now, I don't have it on the table here, and it is the Mauler, the tank, right? And that one, and the reason I put down number 5, I know there's a lot of people out there that are saying that, yes, it may be a tank, yes, it could be the Mauler, blah, 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 and I get all that. I totally get all that. I'm going to put it at number 5 because, again, this is my thoughts, this is my opinions. A tank doesn't do it for me. I got to be honest with you, I'm going to do Haslabs because I love them and they're freaking awesome, and I want all of them. But if they do a tank, I don't know, man. It's gonna be rough for me to pull the trigger on that one because it's a tank, and I want, with all due respect, I just want something cooler. And I know that there's people out there that love the military aspect, love the military side, and I get all that. But for me, that wouldn't excite me, right? That wouldn't excite me. That wouldn't excite the 7, 8, 9-year-old in me that like had those guys. I never got the tank because, again, it didn't interest me. So for me, it would be a little bit boring. I think there's other vehicles out there that could be way, way, way better. So that one's at number 5 for me. Let's move on to number 4. All right, number 4. And this one is very iconic to me. And of course, you can see that the other 4 are in front of me, right? So this is what I think is the possible order of them. So at number 4 comes in the Bridge Layer. The Bridge Layer is very iconic to me. Super iconic to me. I mean, who doesn't remember the Bridge Layer? We had it. I had it when I was 8, 9 years old, and I played with it a ton. I remember it was so important for us to be like, and then take off the bridge and then make the bridge, like, come on, man. How many times do we do that? So to me, that was a big, big thing. So it's very iconic to me. I think it's very cool. I don't know though the reason I have number 4 is that I don't know how much it can spice it up or splash up to make that much of an impact. I think it definitely is the size for a Haslab, right? Like if you make this one twice as big, 3 times as big, like it's definitely going to fit that size and that pricing point. But I don't know if it's as exciting for people either, so I totally get that. So I'm sure that maybe this one's not even on people's top 5 list, and I totally respect and get that. For me, it's just so like nostalgic for me, so iconic to me. If they did this, of course I'd pull the trigger on it. So that one's what I think is number 4. But again, chances of this maybe pretty doubtful. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to number 3. All right, number 3 is, I'm gonna be honest, is probably like another military one that I think a lot of people like. Again, to me, it's very iconic. And we're talking about, of course, the APC. And the APC is super iconic. I mean, it goes all the way back to the very beginning of G.I. Joe. Everyone loves it, and I love mine. It's even got the seatbelts in it. I love that, right? So this one is very iconic to me. It's very special to me. I got very early in my collection here again when I'm now in my 40s. But I will tell you again, it's a little boring to me. Okay, it's a little boring. I want a little pizzazz. I want a little bit more spice to it. I want something that intrigues me when I think about it, with the LED lights and like, can we add stuff to it to make it really cool? Again, like I get it, this one could happen. I definitely think it's the size. I think it fits the size perfectly for it to happen. That's why I put it number 3. But again, I'm just being honest. I think it could be a little bit boring for me. Of course, would I get it? Of course I get it. Right, if it comes out. But that's where I put it for me, number 3. But again, let me hear your thoughts. Let's move on to number 2. All right, number 2 for me is probably my favorite vehicle I've ever had. And this is just goes back to when I was young. And if you've kept up with me, I think that you've heard me say this, maybe on some of my other videos. But this one to me is just always my favorite. It always will be my favorite. I do think it is a good size for the Haslab, which is why I love it and why I think it's awesome. I know some people are arguing that it's too small, that it'll probably come out as a regular vehicle. I get that, and I respect what you're saying, and if you're saying that, and if you're thinking that, cool, I get it. For me, it is about the same size as the Hiss, and we all know they made the Hiss freaking awesome. So I do think that this one could be really, really cool. I do think it's got enough to it that makes it very attractive, very intriguing, right? With the missiles on the sides and everything, with the snowcat, with these being able to come off and like shoot the missiles on these skis. I just think that there could be a lot with the LED inside the cockpit. I could definitely easily see this one as a Haslab. I love it. I think it would be great. But again, I understand, which is why I put number 2 and not number 1, because I can definitely see where people are coming from and why they knock it down and say, hey, it's not going to make it, it's not going to make it, it may just come out just like the Vamp as a regular vehicle. If that happens, I'll be the first one to buy it, okay? So believe me, I'll be the first one. I would just love to see this one as a Haslab. What we got at number 2? Let's move on to number 1. Number one. And I love this vehicle. I know a lot of you do too. I think this one has a really good shot. I think it's got everything we want. I think it's got a little pizzazz. I think it's got enough stuff to make it really unique. I think it's just a perfect size. And of course, that's the Havoc here, right? A lot of people love the Havoc. The Havoc is a very, very, very cool and a very iconic vehicle. It is so awesome. It is definitely the size. It could be, I mean, think about this one if they make it 2 or 3 times bigger. I mean, it would fit the Haslab perfectly. I love how this back opens up. Here, if I can do it for you. Whoop, I may have to put it down. I love how the back opens up and this guy comes out. I mean, think about this for a Haslab. That would be super cool. That would be super cool. I mean, they could really pizzazz this up, spice it up, make it awesome. Oh yeah, this has all the fittings for a Haslab. I even got the guy right there. I'd love to see, of course, they're going to have at least, 3 action figures come with it. So I think it'll be awesome. Maybe they'll have, I don't know, Flint or Duke or somebody come with this one as well. I think it'd be awesome, or who knows, maybe another Scarlet, like we saw with Sky Striker. Who knows? But I think that this is my number one. I think that this is definitely the one that they could go with. Again, they could go with any of these top 5, and who knows, maybe one outside top 5. Love to get your thoughts. But this is my pick. This is my pick for the next Haslab 2025. We know it's going to be a Joe. This is what I think it is. I'd love to get your thoughts. Let me hear what you have to say below. Hey, thanks for staying with me. Thanks for watching with me. As always, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. You guys are awesome. Subscribe. We're out. Peace.